CLC, it gives me immense pleasure that a person who's at the helm of the affairs in the police department of police, as well as a former judge of Punjab Haryana High Court and a former chairman of the NRI Commission, have joined us to give the insights on a perspective which we keep on thinking about, that is the NRIs, what are their legal rights, facets, and there being special emphasis on state of Punjab, because a lot of people from Punjab keep on going abroad and they are NRIs, and what are their rights accruing thereof. And to understand on the perspective from the Department of Police, and also what are the legal issues, and from a person who has been the helm of affairs, being the chairman of the NRI Commission, and Mr. Rai, who is also presently in the NRI Affairs. Therefore, both the keynote speakers would be giving their insights on a topic which are directly and indirectly affected to all persons as such. Reason being that if one is not an NRI but some close friend, a family member is already settled abroad and they are asking some aspects as to what are the issues rising out of the NRI laws, etc. And while we had requested both the speakers, 3-4 points came out boiling down, which had to be, we thought it should be settled down. As to there are issues regarding the property, more on matrimonial side, and from the matrimonial cases itself, there's an issue of parental custody. And also arises the issue as to how the service is to be affected. And we also see on the cases where on the criminal side where it is being affected, that there are large number of persons who are declared as proclaimed offenders. What are their remedies, rights, etc. And since there are two speakers, for the knowledge of the participants who are watching us live on the Facebook as well as on this platform, we have requested Mr. Rai, who is an additional DGP. First, he will give the insights in respect of the Department of Police and what are the way forwards. And therein, Mr. Justice R.K. Garg, what we popularly call as, rather than Rakesh Kumar Garg, he would give these insights in respect of, I'm seeing Justice Garg smiling. He says that I should leave in the other name also, but that I will not talk of. And to what are the rights in respect of where one can approach in the commission, and what are the rights vis-a-vis once one approaches the High Court. On these perspectives, there will be a wide spectrum of knowledge being shared by both the speakers. And then we will also have question answers that can be posted either on the chat box of the platform or on the Facebook. Both the speakers have consented to give their insights on this perspective. And if anybody, let's assume he wants to ask a question directly, he can raise a hand on the platform. We can unmute him and they can ask the question directly. So thank you to both the keynote speakers for agreeing to give their insights. I will ask first Mr. Rai to take over the mantle and put the things forward. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to be participating in this Beyond Law Zoom meeting, where we are going to discuss issues relating to the NRIs. Punjab has always been a land from where people have gone out, settled abroad, not only in this century, but also in the 19th century. Punjabis have been known to be the pioneers. So in the 19th century, also Punjabis went from here, settled in various parts of Canada, settled in America. And in this century, especially after independence, migration from Punjab has been increasing at a rapid pace. This migration, which was initially confined to Doaba region of Punjab, has now taken hold of southern Punjab, which is known as the Malwa region, and also the northern part, which is known as the Majha region. As Vikas was saying, that somebody or everybody has a relation abroad. We checked up the statistics. Out of Punjab has a population of 30 million and around 10 million is the diaspora. So 1/3, every third Punjabi has a connection abroad. It was with this purpose that there should be a special platform for these NRIs, because these first generation NRIs still have the Punjabi blood in them. They still want to connect to their motherland. They still want to invest in their motherland. And it was with this purpose that Government of Punjab decided to set up a special wing of Punjab Police, which would be looking into the problems of the NRIs. This wing of Punjab Police, which is known as NRI Affairs, was started in the month of August 2013. The organizational structure of NRI wing is that we have 15 police stations spread all over Punjab. These police stations are mainly co-terminus with the range headquarters of police, or they are situated in those towns from where a lot of migration has taken place. So places like Kapurthala, Namashahar, Hoshiarpur, they have independent police stations. They have police stations of NRI wing at the district level, while the other police stations of the NRI wing are situated at the range level, say Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Patiala, Bathinda, Firozpur. So in total, there are 15 police stations, and we have a headquarters in Mohali. And it has been an unfortunate scenario for us this year because of the COVID-19. Not many NRIs could come in, and therefore we had to rely on these new normal thing. As Vikas was saying, we are relying on internet and other platforms to reach out to the NRIs. As far as complaints are concerned, we entertain complaints from NRIs on an email. Each email which is received is given a unique identification number, and on the basis of that unique identification number, we monitor the progress of the investigation, and it is our attempt that NRI investigation should be undertaken at a speedy level. We also share the cell phone number of the investigator. We complete the investigation. The NRI Commission, which is also a statutory body set up by Government of Punjab, monitors certain investigations. They also receive complaints. They also mark complaints to us for investigation. I cover as ADGP NRI in the month of February, and in the previous 7 months, in spite of the COVID, it has been my attempt to register maximum number of cases, because half the grievance is sorted out once a criminal case is registered. And once a criminal case is registered, it also sets into motion the sort of compromise, or it also facilitates meeting of two parties. Otherwise, in case no criminal case is registered, there is no pressure on those who have committed fraud with Indian girls or Punjabi girls. There is no pressure on them. They are settled abroad and there is no pressure. And the usual legal process to take action against them is very long and convoluted. And therefore, they are assured no action will be taken. That's why they play fraud with these girls. So we have been liberal in registration of criminal cases, while in 2019, total of 112 FIRs were registered. This year, in the 7 months since I took over, we have already crossed a figure of 121. And similarly, with regard to complaints, we have been liberal in receiving complaints. We have been reaching out to the NRIs through various media that whatever issue they have, they should complain. So that once a complaint comes, then the other party also becomes sensitized towards settling a complaint. And till this date, we have received 2,653 complaints. And out of this 2,653, more than 2,000 have been resolved. So this is basically what we are doing in the NRI affairs. We are also trying to increase the ambit of the work which is given to the NRI wing. Earlier, certain parts of investigation, say investigation against the travel agent, which is also a major pain point for the Punjabis. That was with the crime wing or Bureau of Investigation. We have now, with guidance of our worthy DGP Punjab, Shri Dinkar Gupta, taken over the investigation of travel agents. We are also trying to take over investigation with regard to human trafficking. That anti-human trafficking wing should also be given to the NRI affairs so that we can monitor the trafficking incidents. We are also have taken up with the government of Punjab through the Home Ministry that monitoring of IELTS centers. IELTS centers are another issue which warrant immediate attention because IELTS institutes have mushroomed in Punjab and many of them are doing illegal operation, and the quality of education which they are imparting is not up to the mark. So we have requested the government of Punjab through the Home Ministry that monitoring of the IELTS centers, which is presently under the Deputy Commissioners, that should also be given to the NRI wing so that we can monitor their working. These are the basic issues we are undertaking, and if anyone has any queries, anything, I will be able to answer the things in those query forms. Other than that, immediately nothing comes to my mind which I would like to share on this forum, but whatever queries are raised, I will be able to reply to those queries. Thank you.
Thank you, Nris sir. And we will take the questions at the end if whatever are posted. I will request Mr. Justice Garg to give the insights on the perspective, what he feels on the High Court side or otherwise before the subordinate courts when the proclaimed offence sector are there, and what are the rights which one can invoke before the NRI Commission, because a lot of people feel that what is the purpose of this NRI Commission and what are the way forwards and what are the distinction between the powers which one has before the courts below and the High Court vis-a-vis the NRI Commission. Once you had held that esteemed post, people are willing to learn from your knowledge while we will be sharing that same.
Thanks, Vikas. Good evening, friends. I am delighted to meet all of you in this period of, you can say, house arrest. So at least I'm interacting with you people on this platform, which has been provided to me by Shri Vikas Chatrat through the Beyond Law. Friends, Mr. Rai has given a very detailed eye view of the Department of NRI Affairs Punjab, which is the working of the Forces Department. At this stage, I just want to add 2-3 things to the facts to state that the keeping in view the fact that keeping in what has happened, I can't see any one of you. Oh yes, keeping in view the fact that people of Punjab who are staying abroad are still connected with the Punjab in various manners through property, through matrimonials, and they don't want to leave their roots as well. There were, and the natural consequences of this thing was that they were holding their properties. They would prefer to have marriages here only of their children here only in Punjab, which is it's natural that all these things will definitely give rise to different kinds of disputes. Keeping in view the disputes and the fact that there was not any speedy forum for them where they could raise their issues and get an effective relief, the Punjab government in the year 2011 passed an act with the name of Punjab State NRI's Commission Act. Under this act, a commission was constituted, which is to be headed by a retired judge of the High Court. Along with the chairman of the commission, one member has to be with the rank of ADGP or DGP, maybe serving or retired. Another member has to be from the IAS. Minimum requirement is principal. The person should have been a principal secretary of the department. There are 2 persons from the general public who are known to the affairs, NRI affairs, well versed with these the problems of these persons. There was another amendment in the act later on, by which 2 NRIs have also been made ex officio members of the commission. I worked with this commission. I headed this commission. I joined on 5th of January 2015 and completed 5 years. Though it was 3 years initially, thereafter it was extended for 2 years. So I relinquished my office on 4th of January this year. During this period, I faced with so many issues. But I must tell you that all those issues were very challenging, but at the same time, those issues were very real issues. As Mr. Vikas Chatris has told you, that the main disputes are either of property, which may branch out to revenue law also, and the matrimonial disputes, which includes the parental custody of the children as well. And because of these disputes, the another byproduct is the criminal cases. Under this act, this act provides that on receiving a complaint from an NRI, in fact, there is a catch here. It has been the definition of the complaint says that the complaint has to be for the benefit of the NRI. The NRI, on receipt of complaint, the Commission has the power to make inquiry of that complaint, either itself or through any officer of the state, which it deemed may fit proper. For that purpose, the Commission can also record evidence and call any of the departments of the state of Punjab, any of the officers of the state of Punjab, to produce the record to satisfy the Commission. Then, to further facilitate the working of the Commission, a special cell was created, of the Punjab Police was created, which is being headed by Shri ASRI ADGP Punjab Police. And further, he has already told you that whole of the state of Punjab has been divided into 15 police thanas, which are basically exclusively working on complaints filed against the NRIs or by the NRIs. Friends, keeping in view the aforesaid facts, the problems which I face were mainly, majority of the cases were matrimonial cases. The girls it's a well-known fact in that NRI and the children, NRI boys come to Punjab. Now girls are also coming. They come to Punjab and get married. The marriage is in a true Punjabi style. Lot of money is spent, and the boy or the girl will stay here for a month or so or 2 weeks, and then leave, return back to their foreign land, never to return back. Thus, so many girls, thousands of girls have been left in India, deserted, shattered, victimized, I will say. The system is such that they don't get proper relief. Firstly, they have to make rounds and rounds to the police stations for getting their complaints registered. And thereafter, the real thing starts, that is, how to serve a person who is residing abroad. The difficulty herein is that the person who has come with a predetermined mind, keeping that he is to go to India, live a life of a king for a month or two, and then come back without having any fringes with him. Then he is coming without giving any information to the other side, and sometimes if information is given, that is wrong information, false information, and with the result that even if the police wants to take action, the person is untraceable. Keeping in view these things, I innovated a method. I started taking use of Passport Act, Section 10 and 13 of the Passport Act, Indian Passport Act, which provides that if a case is registered against a Indian passport holder, in India, his passport can be suspended or revoked at the discretion of the authorities. So wherever an FIR was registered, we will write to the passport authorities and they will take action. In this regard, the passport authorities of the Punjab, they supported the cause of very well. And hundreds of husbands have been traced and brought back to India once their passports were suspended. So this was one thing which could be done in the case of such persons. Then another thing was that I introduced one thing, that once someone is to be served upon a person who is having a address in a foreign land, then involve the High Commission or Indian High Commission there, settled in that country. We used to write to them through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and thereafter they will help us in locating that person. Here I will say that we can use also Section 82 and 83 of the CRPC, where with the use of these sections, the property of the person culprit can be identified, Indian property in India can be identified and attached to force that person to come forward and face the trial, and also to pay the expenses or something like that. Then further to safeguard the interest of India, these victims, we made the state of Punjab also passed an act saying that if a marriage is taking place between the NRIs, or maybe one party is NRI, then that marriage has to be registered compulsorily. And while registering the marriage, the social security number of that person, of that country, of the foreign land, his passport number, his visa application, etc., his local address, etc., his foreign address, etc., has to be provided in the application form itself. And I recollect that sometime here it can be said that a false information can be provided. I must say that if a false information is provided in the marriage certificate, the police can initiate another case against that person. Or even the registering authorities are duty bound to verify, to register the marriage after verifying those facts. Now, I would say that there is another aspect of this matrimonial disputes, that is custody of the children who have born out of the bedlocks of the spouses who have fallen apart. In Europe or other countries in foreign lands, the law is that, in fact, the law is that the custody rights can be contested only in that country where the child was originally residing. Child was residing ordinarily. Taking benefit of their laws, the NRI who is staying abroad, whose spouse has come to India after having a matrimonial dispute with the children, he will file a suit there, parental custody suit there. And under that act, under those provisions, the child has to be restored back to that country, and there the custody rights, and there the custody rights have to be contested. But then, so far, India is not a signatory to the it's not possible for the Indian girls to fight it out in a foreign land because they don't know about the foreign laws, they don't have the financial assistance, they don't have the shelter to stay there. In fact, there was a committee appointed by the Child Welfare Ministry of the Government of India. I was a member of that committee. We have submitted that report last year, and that report has been, I would say that that report has been considered by the government, and they have so far, they have not signed that treaty. Now, another question which is oftenly asked, that is, the Commission has only a recommendatory power. It is not, the orders of the Commission are not binding on the parties. That is right. More powers, more amendments are required in this regard. However, I must say that this is a platform which provides you a very speedy remedy for establishing the facts, because the inquiry is conducted by the Commission itself, or with the assistance of the highly efficient officers who are exclusively doing this work of NRI Affairs. And once you are getting your findings on the facts correctly, then even if the other party is going to the High Court in a writ jurisdiction challenging that order, even there the other party will not succeed. At this stage, I must tell you that out of total complaints decided by me, which were more than the filing, 95% recommendations were accepted by the state of Punjab, which were made by me. So I had that satisfaction. One thing which I just want to say is that sometimes the matrimonial, the opposite party also goes to the law of that land where they are residing, seeking a remedy, their remedy in the matrimonial cases. If there is such a case, firstly, I must say that if you are Indian, maybe you are NRIs, you are still Indians, the marriage is under the Indian laws. So the Indian laws will be applicable to you, and the proper course will be to get a competent, get a decree from a competent court of jurisdiction in India. But in any case, if a case is filed outside the outside India, either don't contest it, or if it is an ex parte decree, that carries no value under the provisions of the CPC. There is no well-established law on this. So, Mr. Vikas, I don't know what is my time. Whether I should continue or I should sum up.
So you can give more insights, because once all things are clearer, then the question would also be reduced, because ultimately if the broader perspective has been given, then everybody can understand.
I must say that people, while going to the islets or travel agents, they must be very cautious while choosing them and while doing these, while submitting their applications. Because there are lot of cases, a lot of frauds are being committed by such unscrupulous people. In my tenure, I have got registered more than 2,000 FIRs against such travel agents. And Mr. Rai has rightly recommended that the islets, the work of islets should also be undertaken by them and kept under the supervision of these things. So now I can ask for the questions. So friends, this is all about the NRI Commission, and this is just an word eye view, I will say, of all this problem which is being faced by all of us. As Mr. Rai has rightly said, that every third Indian is connected with an NRI. Yes.
This is by Vinay. I am an NRI settled in London for last 33 years.
Okay.
I cannot even begin to explain how important this commission is. He's in fact praising it only. And I know from personal experience that it works. I've used the commission's help in a couple of cases where land dispute for 20 to 25 years were resolved on a phone calls. And he praises that Justice Garg was quite committed for his passion and hard work.
That's right. I did a little bit, but lot more is required to be done, I must say so. That is right.
Yes.
But this remedy can be very effectively used. Say, as you have told me that there was a land dispute which could not be finalized for 20 years. In revenue disputes, in partition cases, you can always call the revenue authority. The commission can always call the revenue authorities before it and ask for the records. And why not? Why it can't be done? So once the officer comes there, he is supposed to give you the true and truthful version. And if he does not give, you can always make recommendations.
Yes.
Vikas, I'd like to come in here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There are certain things which can go against the NRIs as such, because the way our revenue system is framed. What we are proposing to the government now as NRI Affairs, we have analyzed the cases where people have fraudulently got land belonging to NRIs registered against somebody else. They have usurped the land of NRIs, and we have made a list of such cases, and we have proposed to the government to tweak the revenue registration process so that the land or property belonging to NRIs is not usurped. So this is going to be something new which the Punjab government is going to do. I would also...
Yes.
I would also like to add one thing more with respect to matrimonial cases. Normally, what was happening was that while NRI persons got married here in India, took the wife to US or Canada, wherever, and once on reaching there, abandoned the wife there in US or Canada. So those of our Punjabi ladies were facing real problems. We sent notices to these people that you would be governed by our law because the marriage has been solemnized in India. And if you are not willing to settle the lady, we will unilaterally register a case against you. And we have followed this process where the ladies were forced to take shelter in shelter homes there. We have registered their cases. And with this, I think a right message will go to the NRIs, those who abandoned their wives abroad and left them high and dry. They will also get a message that they cannot indulge in this activity because, as Justice Saab rightly pointed out, Indian law is applicable to them.
I would like to share one experience. Mr. Rai has reminded me one thing. There was a girl of 20 years only. She got married to an NRI boy. That NRI, and more than 2 crores were spent on that marriage. The boy went back after 20 days and never returned. Neither he initiated any steps to take the girl there. In that case, I propose that the case should be registered under for the rape as well, fraud and rape, because he has come with a predetermined mind to stay with the girl who was having the impression that she is staying with the husband, whereas that person has already, that was a camouflage, marriage was a camouflage. So fraud and rape, and I succeeded in that case. Lot of discussion was held at the up to the DGP level, because initially our department was not, they were not in the, because they were saying that there is a marriage, how it can be a rape. But ultimately I succeeded in getting the rape cases registered. So you have to be, I must say that the remedy is there. Maybe it is inadequate of the commission, but if it is being used in the right perspective, you will get the results definitely.
Raisa, you will have to unmute yourself because I've just received a WhatsApp. It says that there are ways of online registration of the complaint. What is the way forward for that? Raisa?
I couldn't get the question. Come again.
Yeah, I just received a message that he had read it in the newspaper that NRI Affairs, etc., are having a dispute resolution through an online also, that you can make a complaint. What is the way forward and what are the remedies? How can one lodge a complaint online? Let's assume somebody is sitting abroad and he wants to lodge a complaint from abroad for the issue which is in India, which is bothering him. Is there any resolution for that? How can one lodge a complaint online?
Yes, in fact, all our complaints are lodged online only. Anybody from anywhere can lodge a complaint, and our email, we entertain all the complaints on email, and our email address, which I would also like you to display, is nri.pbpolice@gmail.com. All complaints are received on. In fact, if somebody sends us a written complaint, we suggest to him that send us an email, because all our monitoring is on the basis of email. And I would also like to add here, as just Sir pointed out, with respect to the rape, we are also proactively considering addition of rape charges where boy has abandoned the girl, because we have to be proactive in this matter, then only a right public message goes.
Because here I will add that if somebody wants to go to the commission, even that complaint can be filed online. And for that, the email address is nricompunjab@gmail.com. And every complaint which is supported by the documents and the affidavit of the person is taken care of.
Sir, I go a step forward, though it was not part of the question. Like what we are saying, like today, what you said, that though you may be in a house arrest, but today we are all talking around. We are having people from pan world, not only on the Facebook but also on this platform. Like, has the commission or the police also come out with a resolution that if somebody wants to ask someone, like sending a complaint on a mail, it's fine. But I think that I'm not very sure as to whether that step can be looked forward, that one can be connected through an application, just like a Zoom or any other application. How to go about it? Mr. Manjeet Singh Nijjar wants to pitch in something. We are unmuting him.
All right, let him say. Yes. Yes, what Mr.
Mr. Nijjar, you will have to unmute yourself. some of the rights. Yes, sir.
Yes. Sasikal,
Yes.
Saranu,
Sasikal ji.
Garg Saab, Sasikal, Saranu.
Probably I have seen you in my tenure.
Yes, yes.
You had
On
come
the
to my
Facebook
office.
day when you were
Yes. You had come.
Yes. Yes. Very useful information by Rai Sahib and by you, Justice Garg Saab. Very, very useful information for the NRIs. And I was listening to that. Obviously, I just want to add that we are NRI coordinators now, 30 of us globally, and we are there in every country to assist in any NRI complaints or NRI issues. So we also are linked to the commission. We have 2 honorary members of the commission, one in the UK and one in the US, but we are all linked in to the NRI department. In fact, we are going to have a meeting very soon of all the coordinators. And it is.
So you are one of the coordinators?
Yes.
You are one of the coordinators?
One of the coordinators. I'm for the UK, yes, and I'm leading the group. So basically, we are further sort of initiated by the NRI department to help solve the issues and problems of NRIs, and also to contribute towards Punjab's development or betterment. So it is a very good initiative by the NRI department.
What is your question? What is your question you want to say?
The question is basically, yes, one I wanted to add was we are there to help. Main is that many NRIs, we know that they have properties, their property issues. Basically, there should be more information regarding their, like they give their land on rent, but there's not enough information how to go about it. It's mainly verbal. It should be in writing because so many disputes is actually between the NRIs and the people who are actually looking after the land. At the same time, taxation is also where NRI department can help. So basically, I think if some of the problems can be avoided, if we actually give some information out, and also I'm quite pleased to know that the strict sentences can send the right message to the people who are actually doing wrong things, whether it's marriages or I've been actually come across some you can say complaints that there is a kind of people in Punjab who are looking at NRI properties and try to grab them by way of false power of attorneys, and even the power of attorneys which have been like altered. So I also want to obviously give this message out. We all already tell all the NRIs not to give power of attorneys just like that. Be specific, be careful whom you give that. So we need to really prevent some of the problems happening before they happen.
No, it's only Mr. Najjar, my experience is that these fraudulent documents are used only in those places where there is someone who is conniving with them at the registration level or at some other level, at the sale level, or otherwise it's very difficult to forge a document and use it. It
is true, but it is still happening because
it is happening. But then law of the land is taking care of that. Fraud cases are being registered. 420 cases are being registered, and they are also inquired into, and they are taken to its logical end. It's not like that. But so far as you have said with regard to, you have said something else. That was.
One is information regarding the sort of
information regarding
the land. Obviously, people are giving
land.
It's mostly verbal arrangements people have.
In fact, there is a land. There is a commission appointed by the state government to go into the land reforms. But what we have, in fact, I have in 2-3 cases I have recommended that one, there are 4 appeals. In a partition case there are 4 appeals up to the FC level. I have said to cut down that appeals, and then we have said that in partition cases, the notices should go online to the opposite party, to the register, or it should be through the revenue officers, and they will file an affidavit that the service has been effected on the very first date. And then there are other recommendations also to correct the Khasra Girdavi in the fraud cases, to correct the Khasra Girdavi. Otherwise, at this stage, I must tell you that under the revenue law, if a Khasra Gardabri has been incorporated in the Jamabandi for 4 years, and that will become a presumption, a truth, a conclusive proof against you. So that can be corrected only through civil suit, which is a lengthy process.
It is very serious, obviously.
So we have recommended for, in fact, maybe Punjab government is doing it, as Mr. Roy has said so.
But that's great. I think online will be better, Garg Sahab, definitely online, because you can check
So
your words. You can.
Sir, once all of the record is online, then it can be done easily.
Yes, I agree. Much more easier it will be. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we have unmuted Mr. Vinay. He also wanted to pitch in something.
Yes.
Hi, thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Roy, for very good presentation. Thank you, Jasab, Rakesh bhai. The only thing I wanted to say, as I said in my comments, we are sitting in UK, and just a brief introduction for myself. I was a tax inspector. I worked for
Vinay Jain, you have grown up your beard.
Yeah,
you have grown up your beard.
This is my COVID look. Nothing else to do here now.
Yes. I recognize you.
Yeah, so I just retired from a civil service. Actually, I was a senior tax investigator for 30 years here in the income tax department, and now basically I am write people's wills and inheritance. I advise them on inheritance tax issues and all these things. And the only thing I wanted to say that every time you meet a family from Punjab, invariably they have got properties. Either they bought the properties or they inherited the properties from their parents and everything. And yes, believe me, there's so many sad stories actually, that because NRIs are sitting here and obviously they can't go to India again and again. And once they have gone, the first generation, second generation are sometimes not interested and don't know what to do. So they really need some sort of guidance, and they really needed something like that in Punjab especially. So it's a wonderful thing. I just wanted to know, is there any similar institution in Haryana as well?
No, none, except state of Kerala. Kerala has also gone after Punjab. Punjab was the first state.
So why they haven't set up anything in Haryana? Because there's so many people from Haryana as well.
Oh, I know that. There are so many people, especially this Kurukshetra area.
Yes.
That is there. But Haryana government has not thought about it. And maybe since it's a state subject, Mr. Jain, you must be knowing that under the Indian Constitution, there is a division of laws.
Yes.
Some subjects are state subjects.
Yes.
So this is a state subject. So state has to take initiative, not the central government.
Okay.
All right. So I will take a question that has been posted separately. Namely, where Mr. Rai will have to answer. What if two Indians get registered the marriage in foreign and later solemnize the marriage? Law will go on them. Through court's order has been pronounced that the marriage solemnized in India is valid, but inquiry officer does not oblige in the court order. What can be done? Sir, I can this you could also answer, Justice Garg.
No, if the Indian court has held that marriage has been solemnized as per Indian law, so they have to register it. Where is the question that they will not register it? They have to. They will register it. But what is the registration? Registration is endorsement of a fact that a marriage has taken place in India as per the Indian laws. That's all between these two individuals. It has to be registered. No, the authorities cannot say no. Which authority has said so? If it is in Punjab, she should come and file an appeal before the commission.
This is for Mr. Rai. Sir, how do you determine that the complaint made by the woman in NRI cases is genuine? Do you conduct some preliminary inquiry?
Of course, we conduct a preliminary inquiry, and it is not that just because the woman is saying it, we go by her word of it. We do conduct a preliminary inquiry. This is one. And secondly, I also welcome Shri Manjeet Nijjar. He is a very dynamic member of our coordinators. He heads our coordinators. And I would also use this platform to bring it, as Jassa was saying, Punjab government has set up a revenue commission, and that commission was headed by a retired judge of Punjab and Haryana High Court. And the present chief secretary was, in her capacity as the financial commissioner, member of that commission. That commission report has already gone to the government, and in that commission report, the revenue law has been further tweaked, and it has been tweaked to ensure that properties are not illegally usurped. So that is going to be a relief to our NRI brethren in times to come, because this commission report has already come. It will be accepted by the government in due course. And once it becomes the law, the properties of NRIs in Punjab will be more safe. As another thing which we are taking it up with the government, that only a person who is the owner of the property, like Mr. Manjeet had pointed out, that sometimes they give power of attorney, and on that power of attorney, the person here sells off that land or misuses that power of attorney. So another thing which we are taking up with the revenue department, that the documents would be given only to the NRI concerned, the owner of the property. It would not be somebody holding power of attorney in place of NRI will not be able to sell or dispose of that land.
Yes.
Sheenu Mittal, she wants to ask
Yes.
some question. I will unmute Sheenu Mittal.
Yes.
Yes, Sheenu, you can unmute yourself.
Yes.
Sheenu, or you can post the question if you want. Sheenu, yes. And you will have to come on a video also. Yes, Sheenu, ask your question.
Good evening, first of all, to everyone.
Ma'am, it's not audible.
Hello. So, am I audible now?
Slightly.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, sir. I just want to know one thing related to my case.
Ma'am, audible nahi hai.
Okay, sir. I'll just write down the message then. That would be fine. Yeah.
She was having a complaint before me. Sheenu Mittal.
Could be.
She
says
can ring me up.
Okay. Rai Sahib, you said that there are certain recommendations by the commission. Could you just highlight so that people come to know what are the recommendations which you say that government is likely to take up?
Oh, that is so far.
So
Those recommendations are not.
there will be recommendations, and it is for the wisdom of the government to decide which recommendations of that commission
Yes.
are to be legislated. Then it will become an act. So it would not be right at this stage to comment on those recommendations.
That's right.
Right, sir. There was one question by Naveen. I will just check it out. Sheenu has just written that sorry for the inconvenience.
No, you can tell Sheenu that she can ring me up. Probably she is having my telephone number.
Sir, she's if I can hear you, she's also hearing you. She will contact you automatically. And she has sent the text. Sure, sir.
I've seen that text.
Yes, sir. So we had a fascinating session. Before we conclude, I will just ask, because fortuitously, Mr. Rai, yourself, and Sapan are from Sector 35. Will ask Sapan to share his few thoughts. Loud, he will have to unmute himself, because all residents of Sector 35 will make the platform of NRI legal perspective in a different way.
Let us see.
In fact,
Sapan is there?
please, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening,
Good
Rai,
evening.
sir.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening.
evening. Good evening.
Very wonderful session conducted by Justice Garg and Mr. Rai. I am being part of the same sector in which my lord and Mr. Rai is residing, as rightly said by Mr. Chatra. Therefore, actually, in fact, this problem of NRIs are too much in India, for which this NRI commission, my lord has already served there, had so many NRIs. Even one of the cases of my relatives also got before Justice Garg. And there was a lot of help by the commission in that matter also, that complaint was totally false by the girl. Now I have one question to Justice Garg, that in that matter, the girl has already compromised the matter with the boy in Australia. Both are living, and the FIR is still registered here. She doesn't come and take back that FIR or move some application before the trial court. The challan is presented against his parents, the boy's parents. They are facing trial unnecessary. So the police can help, lay any help in that matter. That matter.
In fact, you should come to the commission and file a fresh application saying that police should be directed to file a cancellation report in the challan.
That's right. That's right.
You will not go for quashing. I believe that you will not go for quashing because the compromise cannot come on record.
That's right.
I understand. But if you can bring these facts before the police authorities, saying that the very basis of this FIR, it was the dispute between husband and girl, and that has gone, that very dispute has finished.
Yes, they have.
And continuation of the challan will be abuse of process of law, these old people.
Absolutely.
So you should get a cancellation filed, and you should ask the commission to say so. If the police is not doing it, firstly, move an application before the police. If they are not doing it, go to the commission.
I just intervene here. This case is very much in my knowledge, and we are already in the process of, but this year, as I was saying in my presentation also, many of the things have been affected by onset of COVID-19. And many of our processes, which should have moved at a faster pace, have been delayed because of the COVID-19. So we are very much seized of these kind of matters, and there are many others similar nature. In fact, after going through this case only, I realized that there are other cases also where the similar facts are present. So with respect to all such cases where they have reached a compromise abroad, we are following a similar process. And all these cases would be cancelled in due course of law.
Closure report. So, Mr. Dheer, your problem has been solved.
Yes, I'm with the Mr. Raya also. He knows.
Your problem has been solved.
We have unmuted Nidhi. She is UK based of Mind Springs. She has certain
Thank you
insights.
very much, Vikas.
No issues. Yes, Nidhi, you can ask.
Justice Garg and GP Roy. What a wonderful initiative, and especially for me. Well, I represent a company which has been in existence for the last 20 years, which is called the NRI Legal Services. We are a global provider. Most people are aware. We have offices all over the world representing NRIs. I have a lot of issues. We've been doing it for the last 2 decades, and I'm very much aware of the pace, how this commission was set up, and we've also used for a number of our clients this commission, and I can see that there has been solid work regarding this and a constant effort from the side of the government. I do recognize that, of course, some things are accepted and some are not, but then there are certain issues that are there that we face regularly with, hundreds of our clients, literally, as we have a large number of client base from all across the world. We have offices in the UK, 4 or 5. So we are very aware of all of this. My question is that, first, now with the pandemic, there's a lot of problem with people that are going to travel. Are there any rules that are going to come up where the facilitation of a lot of services that can be taken up through power of attorneys? I think it would be great if work towards that, because the more strict we are towards this, the less is the way, how would we facilitate these people really to be delivered services, because they cannot actually travel. Especially the older generation.
Commission is already handling such complaints.
Yes, but yes. And also now in the criminal cases, without these people really being actively traveling.
In criminal cases, probably there will be a problem.
Yeah.
Because in criminal law, whether the power, in case the law is the offence is established against your client or your people sitting in UK, your attorney will go to jail. Let me know. Your attorney will go to jail. Because that person has to be, the accused has to be brought before the court. There is no escape from that.
Absolutely correct, and absolutely deferring to what you're saying, Justice Garg. But in case this is a genuine problem, would there be a recommendation put up, especially for the NRIs who are not able to travel, considering these are genuine?
I apprehend that can be misused. General direction can be misused. Maybe through, you can try your luck through your High Commission or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking that, considering the scenario right now, how would this be really tackled for a lot of our clients who are involved in certain criminal cases? And a lot of these cases, as you are so, well aware and so well entrenched in this, as I can see, a lot of these cases, Justice Garg, are completely fictitious also. It's not that all NRIs, they are being embroiled in false cases and fictitious cases by people who know that they're NRIs, right?
It's both ways. It's both ways.
So, it's both ways. So this is genuine people who have been involved in wrong cases. They're not able to come. There are, directions against them, and they cannot travel even if they want to travel. So we have a huge number of such clients who are now regularly writing to us for this. So I was kind of wondering whether any recommendation would go from your side.
Willing to put in his ideas.
Mr. Vikas,
yes,
Mr. Rai.
It is pleasure to see Nidhi in the forum today. I came in contact with her today itself. We got linked on the LinkedIn platform. We got introduced to each other because some of her people had visited me few months back in my office, and at that time I had sent a LinkedIn request, and today we got connected. The question she has raised is concerning the NRIs against whom false cases have been filed. And we have taken up this matter with our DGP sir, and we have requested him that the NRI Affairs branch should be allowed to have a look into these cases and nature of these cases. Because working in the field as IGP Patiala, I realized that there were certain instances when cases were filed against NRIs to ensure that they do not come back to this country and their property here was usurped. The property was taken over by somebody else and a false case was registered against them. So, and they were declared proclaimed offenders so that they would not come back to the country. So we are in the process of collating such cases, and we would put it up to our DGP sir that these are the cases in which certain false cases have been registered. Similarly, there was, when this government came into power, a committee was set up to examine false cases, false police cases which had been registered. And I think Justice
Mehtab Singh Gill, Justice
Mehtab Singh Gill was heading that committee. Some of the cases we sent to that committee also. There are still some cases about the authenticity of which is not, like we are not sure. So that's why we are going to take up those cases at our level and put it up to our DGP sir.
What a wonderful initiative. Really, really appreciate this. And I think this will go a long way in genuinely helping people, because I have a lot of information on a lot of people who are being just, falsely implicated. That's one. The other thing I would want to just quickly ask, I know I'm on a very tight frame, I'm sorry. We ask that once something new is happening, is there a place from where we can get to know what is a new change? Like, this was very interesting what you told me, that like we are filing a lot of revenue cases, the partition, then they're delayed, and we have all sorts of problems in courts. And you're saying now we can go through the NRI commission and you can ask for the files and all. So this was very informative for me personally, because we have a lot of pending cases. But I would like to ask you, is there a place where we can go and see what are these new changes, which recommendation has been accepted, which haven't been, because there is no forum as such where I can log in to see what's really happening. That is my...
You can ask my the cases in which I have taken such kind of decisions. You can ask from the NRI Commission Punjab. You can ask the decisions from them. You can get a copy of the order from them. Probably that will serve your purpose.
Right. I was just thinking if there's a web forum where we know what is really happening very quickly, the NRIs can see themselves.
That is for the NRI department to prepare such kind of data on the online. Yes.
Sorry. Please. I don't want to interject. Please carry on.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to say that maybe it is not possible to place everything in the public domain. All the orders of the commission in the public domain can't be set. That is the problem.
Absolutely, my lord. Thank you so much. I just also wanted to know that would the commission also be okay to take in, representatives of the NRIs who are not themselves there for if can the lawyers on behalf?
Yes. No, full arguments are being made by the lawyers in the commission. I started this trend. In fact, I was in the habit of passing contested orders. So people used to come there.
All right. Right. Wonderful. Justice Garg, and thank you so much, DGP Rai, for, sending me this thing. I am really, really fortunate. This is my direct area of work, and I'm sure we can. Can I, quickly, can I come and meet you guys?
Anytime.
Thank you so much. That will be all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Amit Malaria, you can ask your question directly. Amit.
Shinu Bansal was Shinu Mitra was also saying something.
Amit Malaria, I suppose, is left. Shinu says, I wanted to mention, as in my case, FI was lost. Document is done. Passport is also impounded. The guy is in Australia. still he got his police clearance certificate cleared because he got his verification cleared from the local Punjab police. And
she should file a complaint in the commission. In one such case, we have taken action against the police official who recommended the case. That was of Sangrur district.
Okay. So thank you, friends. And before we part for the day, and needless to add that we are all enamored the way things were put across by Honorable Mr. Justice R.K. Garg and Mr. A.S. Rai. As we had told that a lot of messages were peeping in since last night when we had floated that we would be holding a webinar. Because as Mr. Garg had rightly said, the issues regarding the NRIs in Punjab, Kerala, and what Mr. Garg had said regarding in Kurukshetra, there are certain areas pan India where there are more of NRI settled and the issues are propped up. And what Mr. Garg has said that taking cue from Punjab, the Kerala has also done. In fact, in one person on the Facebook has also posted that Kerala is doing. So thank you, friends. Do stay connected with us. Tomorrow, as we had stated that we had a 4-part series on motor accident claims. Tomorrow will be the 4th part of that series by Mr. S. Srinivas Raghavan of SSR, who also holds a lot of webinars pan-India. Tomorrow, the topic would be motor accident claims, principles of assessment in the injury cases. So do stay connected at 4 p.m. And thank you once again to Justice Garg.
Before you leave, I must say thanks to you because today I feel fully energized. Fully energized.
You are always full of energy.
No, I was lying low because of this pandemic. I was doing nothing, but today it seems that I have done something meaningful.
No, not something. It's everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Rai Saab.
Thank you, Rai Saab, and Justice Garg. Thank you. Namaskar, and stay safe, stay blessed, be happy, and we are quite sure that soon we will not only be discussing about NRI questions. People will also go abroad, and people will come.
Maybe I, along with Mr. Sharma, the retired DGP, we may start some NGO in near future.
Yes,
for the NRIs.
Yes, sir.
That will be great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can